Can we talk about Nick Bosa? No one talks about Nick Bosa. He's the highest paid player in the team, and he had pretty much a down season by his standards last year, and everyone's like, whatever, $34 million. It's probably worth it.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot to prove this year. And I'm going to say what he needs to prove, and no one's going to have the guts to say this, but I have the guts. He needs to prove he cares more. He cares about more than just the money. What is it that makes you tick, Nick? Because you got the bag. Is that what you were doing this for? And if that was, that's fine. A lot of football players are in it for the bag. I mean, you make a lot of money playing football if you're really good, but you got the money. And then you immediately had a season that was like half of what you would normally do. So, I mean, Max Crosby on the Raiders, that guy's nuts. He has a motor that kind of puts yours to shame, Nick. Last year, you were a non-factor as a run defender. And as a pass rusher, I mean, Leonard Floyd had as many sacks as you last year. I think Nick has a lot to prove that he's not his brother. Joey Bosa got a huge extension in 2020 and really has been kind of mid ever since. Not calling Nick mid. He's better than Joey. But I think it's a big year for him. What do you think?
Our good friend Jesse Naylor tweeted out a book recommendation over the weekend. And I love books. I don't read them, but I listen to them. So I'm too ADD to sit there and read a book, but I'll listen to them while I'm doing other things. And I probably listen to 5-6 books a month at least. And Jesse recommended Relentless. And Relentless was written by the guy who's trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. And he talks about the different kinds of athletes, right? There's closers and cleaners and et cetera. Cleaners is the better one. He's saying that's Michael Jordan, that's Kobe Bryant. And Nick Bosa has already got it. So you guys should read it, by the way. It's called Relentless. Read it. But it reminds me of this topic that you bring up, because guys like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, obviously they wanted to get their money. They got paid, but that didn't stop them from what their greatest desire is, which is to be the best, right? The Mamba mentality, the Michael Jordan killer instinct, to be the best regardless. Michael Jordan was paid handsomely. Kobe Bryant was paid handsomely, but that didn't change them from wanting to be the best at what they do. That was their motivation. They had the killer instincts. They were cleaners. And the question is, does Nick Bosa still want to do that now that he's paid, right? There's a lot of guys that get paid and they fall off. And the ones that are really those guys, the Michael Jordans of the world, the Kobe Bryants of the world, there's not many of them. Those guys want more than just the money. They want to be known as the best to ever do it. They're the ultimate competitors. It's an unhealthy desire to be better than everybody you face. Does Nick Bosa have that? I don't know. That's the question that just yet to be determined. And that's really what he has to prove. I mean, does he have to prove it? No, he's good. He's set for life. But if he wants to be that guy, then he needs to come show us that wasn't a fluke when he had 19 sacks that season, that he can come back and be at that level again.
When the Niners drafted Nick Bosa in 2019, I didn't want him to pick Bosa. I didn't like it. I was wrong, I guess. I liked it. I wanted him to pick Josh Allen, who's also really good, edge rusher for the Jaguars. And my issue with Bosa was Joey. I don't like Joey. I feel like Joey is this kind of player who's in it for the money, and once he got paid, he fell off. And I feel like, why do you want to get in business with a player like that? Well, because the first 4 or 5 years of their career is going to be incredible. And Nick's was. But now he's in that next phase of his career where he has to dig deep and find different motivations. And I don't think his brother could do it. And he's not his brother. Maybe he's a totally different person, but that's why I think this is a topic. Because last year happened, his brother is his brother. And I don't know, man. Like, here's another thing with Nick. He plays like 75% of the snaps. Man, get your ass on the field. What are you doing? They pay you $34 million a year. Max Crosby plays like 95% of the snaps. What? I'm sorry. We need a little bit more from Nick.
Where would you rank Nick Bosa last year for pass rushers?
I mean,
JJ Watt.
I mean, in terms of sacks, he was tied for 17th. I looked it up. In terms of sacks. And then as a run defender, I thought he was not helpful. So he got, I know I'm avoiding the question. He got no defensive player of the year votes. Like Michael Parsons got some, TJ Watt got some, Myles Garrett. Max Crosby. So among like edge rushers, he's maybe top 5. He's maybe the 5th or 6th guy. Like I would take Crosby, Garrett, Watt, and Parsons over last year's Bosa. The Bosa we saw post-extension. Pre-extension, Bosa was the defensive player of the freaking year. But now, I mean, he's like maybe top 5 at his position.
It is interesting. You look at like Debo, you have a great season, gets an extension, doesn't quite repeat. You look at Nick Bosa, same thing. And maybe that's, maybe the Niners are learning a little bit from that and this whole BA thing. I think BA is different, though. I do think BA is that kind of guy who has that desire. That's why for him, he wants the bag, but he also wants to be featured in an offense, right? And I think that's his personality in a way. And that's why I would extend Brandon Ayuk, no question. I don't know if Bosa has that drive in him. He's paid. I mean, to take care of his body the way he does and to build his body the way it is requires a lot of dedication and hard work. So maybe he does. And maybe last season was just a symptom of sitting out so long and not being really there involved with the 49ers until right before the season started. And he can just bounce back and have another great year again. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe last year was a symptom of the guy who got fired, and some say scapegoat, it was Wilkes. Maybe it was him. I don't know, right? I'm just throwing out ideas.
So that excuses Nick Bosa's like poor effort because Steve Wilkes was the defensive coordinator. Fine. Well, Steve Wilkes is gone. You got Nick Sorensen. You say you like Nick Sorensen. We're gonna need to see more effort from you, Nick. Better run defense.
Who gets more sacks this year, Bosa or Floyd?
I would hope it's Bosa. I mean, damn. I would freaking hope it's Bosa. Yeah. He should have the most sacks in the league for what they're paying him. I mean, I know it's a high bar to set, but that's what comes with a $34 million a year. He's paid like Justin Jefferson, man. You have to produce every game and in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Nick Bosa needs to prove anything because he's already set. But does he want to prove? Does he want to?
There you
prove?
go.
Yeah,
that's a good distinction.